Hi, my name is Olivia, and today I'm here to confess something that I've carried as a secret for far too long. This is not an easy story. This is not a proud story, but it's a true story. I cheated, and I regret it more than I can express. This is my honest confession. I was 22 when I met Ethan. He was sweet, charming, and treated me better than anyone ever had. We met through mutual friends at a summer BBQ, and within weeks, we became inseparable. For the first time, I felt seen. He made me feel special, valued, loved. Our relationship wasn't perfect, but it was good. At least, that's what I thought. But looking back, I realized I was carrying emotional baggage, things I hadn't dealt with from my past, and that would become the crack in our foundation. Before Ethan, I had been in a toxic relationship. My ex constantly made me feel not enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not exciting enough. Even after leaving that relationship, those insecurities followed me like shadows. When Ethan came into my life, I thought he would fix all that. But here's the truth. No one else can heal wounds you haven't faced yourself. I never told Ethan about how broken I felt inside. I just smiled, acted okay, and hoped his love would be enough. But insecurities don't disappear when you ignore them. They fester. A few months into our relationship, things started to feel routine. Ethan was busy with work. I was struggling with my own self-worth. We talked, but not deeply. We spent time together, but it felt surface level. That's when Jason came into the picture. He was an old college friend. Funny, flirty, exciting. We started chatting casually. Nothing serious at first, but those chats became longer, more personal, more intimate. Jason gave me the attention I craved. He complimented me, made me feel desired. I knew it was wrong, but in the moment, it felt good. It felt like I was alive again. One night, after a small argument with Ethan, I met Jason for coffee. It was supposed to be just friends catching up, but emotions were high. Flirting escalated, and I made the worst decision of my life. I kissed him. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about Ethan. I wasn't thinking about consequences. I was selfish. I was insecure. I was looking for validation in the worst place possible. That kiss led to more. One mistake turned into a full-blown betrayal. The next morning, the reality hit me like a truck. I looked at myself in the mirror and felt disgusted. I had become the person I swore I'd never be. Guilt is not loud. It's a constant, quiet ache. It eats at you from the inside. Every time Ethan smiled at me, every time he said, "I love you," I felt like a fraud. I started pulling away emotionally, not because I didn't love him, but because I couldn't face what I'd done. Weeks passed, and the guilt became unbearable. I knew I had to tell Ethan. He deserved the truth. That conversation was the hardest thing I've ever done. I remember his face when I said the words, "Ethan, I cheated on you." Shock, confusion, pain. He asked why. I didn't have a good answer. I tried explaining my insecurities, how I felt lost, how it was a moment of weakness. But none of it justified what I had done, and I knew that. Ethan was devastated. He didn't yell, he didn't insult me, he just looked broken. He said he needed time. He deserved that. For days, I didn't hear from him. The silence was worse than any argument. Eventually he called. He told me he couldn't continue the relationship. He loved me, but he couldn't trust me anymore. I respected his decision. I had no right to ask for forgiveness. That day, I lost not just my boyfriend, but my best friend. Regret is a heavy burden. It doesn't go away with time, but it teaches you valuable lessons. I had to confront the real reasons why I cheated. It wasn't because Ethan wasn't good enough. It wasn't because our relationship was terrible. It was because I hadn't healed from my past. I sought validation from others because I didn't value myself. That's not an excuse. It's a hard truth. I started therapy. I worked on my self-esteem. I faced the parts of me I had ignored for so long. Cheating is a choice, a terrible one, but a choice nonetheless. If you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest in a relationship. Love is not enough without trust and respect. Seeking attention to fill a void inside you only creates more pain. One moment of weakness can destroy years of trust. Most importantly, it taught me to take responsibility, not to play the victim, not to justify my actions, but to own up to them.
If you've cheated, own your mistake. Don't blame your partner. Don't blame circumstances. Face yourself. Understand why you did what you did. Apologize. Sincerely. But be ready to accept that forgiveness might not come. Use this as a turning point to become better. And if you've been cheated on, remember, their actions are a reflection of them, not you. It took a long time for me to forgive myself. And honestly, some days I still struggle, but I've changed. I don't flirt for validation anymore. I've learned to communicate my insecurities openly. I've learned to respect boundaries. I entered new relationships with honesty from day one. And though I still carry the scars of my mistake, I use them as reminders of who I never want to be again. This was my story. Not a proud one, but a real one. I cheated. I hurt someone who loved me. And I live with that regret. But I've grown. I've learned. I've become better. If my confession helps even one person avoid making the same mistake, it's worth sharing. Thank you for listening. And to Ethan, if you ever see this, I'm truly sorry. You deserved better.